that we have within us. It is so important that we share with our community, most importantly with our people. Yep. And Janet is a big person to tell us how to do that. And we also have a tool that we'll share with will go later into the program that will hopefully go be props to get this done. Because if you don't tell your story, somebody else will and then praise. Amen. If they say try to cancel our history, they cannot cancel what happened within our family, what happened in our children, nephews, loved ones, godchildren. Each of you in this room has a story. So please listen and be prepared to share. Yeah, not with.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I am Janis Kearney, and I'm really excited about being here today to talk to you about writing your history. I want to thank Garbo for this opportunity, but also thank Oak Street. Is it Oak Street Health? Yes. For partnering with Garbo and Pyramid Gallery. I think that most of us here have, not only do we have stories, but I think you must be thinking about writing your stories or sharing them in some way. So I hope that this will just be the beginning of that journey for you. One person has already told me she started writing paragraphs. That's a beginning. So after today, I hope I can check back in with some of you and you can tell me that you've gone a little further than the paragraphs. You may even have a chapter. So I'm hoping that that's what this will lead to. I have been writing for about 25 years. I've done a lot of other things throughout my life, but writing has been the thing that I knew I was supposed to be doing. And once I got to that point in my life in 2001 and actually started writing, then I knew I was doing what God put me on this earth to do. And I know when each of you start writing those stories, your personal history stories, you'll feel that sense of satisfaction that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I see some people in here that I know will have some amazing stories if they'll do it, if they'll share them. Right? Miss Mayor. Okay, I'm gonna go by my notes a little bit. But what I'd like to ask a few of you, if not all of you, to do is just kind of tell me where you are, if you've already started on your writing journey. Tell me what you've done so far and what are you wanting to do as far as writing your own personal history. Anybody? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Tisha. I'm Tisha. And it's ironic there. So I didn't even know what this was all. None of it kind of anything. I needed to fly.
Okay.
That's what. So when it comes to writing, I have always had a thing for my case called episode. Instead of how narrators narrate episode after that. So for me, when I explain episodes about that in your a particular day that I just wanted to share. When I was coming home years ago, I was coming from over California to fishing that. Anyway, a lot of people say they're comfortable. You know, what is that? They know status, but they act like they didn't know accountable people. They're registered. So that's where I was once stood one day, and I'll make it very, it was an anniversary. That it would be Swinewood as one Saturday. Mm-hmm. So I was in a corner, and I'll try to say it was without the Caruthers. So I was riding across the street from California and safety patrols. That day was not safety patrol right out there to help them cross the street. But I was in a car to get ready to go across the street. The other reporter across the street was a mob with the pharmacy that come up there, Benton, if you right, where was some of these working was kind of from like some of the miles and Randy, they came back. Can you look her there to where I eat military food and it stood up. I went down with
Oh, wow.
that. Big. Well, that's one of the episodes in my life that a lot of our kids don't know. Related on the fear, terror, and so back in there to on and what what I've been periodic episodes probably in life.
Have you ever written them down?
Never,
Okay.
never.
Let me suggest that you do, because those, not only will that episode pop up in your head, but once you start writing, all kinds of other things will pop up as well. So really, when they come to you again, just take the time and write them down. Yeah, you'd be amazed at how far along you can get in your writing if you just do that. Thank you for sharing. Sure. One more person want to share? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Ron Davis Ward. I've been prompted in several ways. I have somehow become the official historian for both sides of my family, and so
Yeah.
I have all of that in my head. And this is my sister-in-law, and her son, out of nowhere, sent me a book, and with it, he sent a text. The book hadn't arrived, and he said, "Start now." I said, "What is he talking about?" And it's a book that just prompts you from birth and different events to write what happened. Like the first one is, "It's your birthday. What day were you born? What was, what did they name you? Why did they name you that?" All of the official stuff,
Right.
but are there any other events that went on the day that you were born, and things like that? And it's just a little Amazon book. And so I guess once you get prompted and you figure out all of those things, there probably is a book
Yeah.
in all of that note taking. So me and, like I said, both sides of my family will probably need to prompt something.
So did you start filling out?
I have.
Oh, good.
I've started a little bit. I'm sure he thinks I'm further since I retired. I think he thinks I'm farther along. And then he sent me a note after I realized what the book was. I thanked him for it, and he said, "Do you think?" My husband's name is Randy. He says, "Do you think Uncle Randy wants a book?" So,
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I think what Garbo has to share with you all a little bit later, you'll kind of recognize some of the things that you just mentioned in that book. Well, I am excited to know that there are a number of you that are already thinking about writing your history, because again, our history is so important. And I'm so happy that Garbo and Oak Street Health have decided they're going to do something like this now, because I think we'll all agree that now we need it more than ever, when we keep hearing our leadership say that our history isn't really that important. As a matter of fact, there's a problem with it. So we have to take responsibility like they did and way back, and we kind of left it after a while. But now more than ever, it's important that we start taking our history seriously and knowing that if we don't do it, nobody's going to do it. And as Garbo said, and even if they do it, it's not going to be what we want. It's not going to be right. So please, at least if all of us in here take this seriously, I think that will be moving us in a really, really positive position. Our history is what makes us who we are, and what makes America America, no matter what anybody says. So this today, and I guess we will do this about an hour or so, is more than me lecturing you, but it is a conversation. I do want to hear from you all, and if you have questions at any time, don't hesitate to ask me questions. We'll talk about biographies because all of these are history, biographies, memoirs, and community history projects. And I brought a few books that you all can look at a little bit later. And this is actually a historical fiction. My first love was fiction, but it's historical fiction because it's based on a real story. So a lot of people say, oh, well, that's just a novel, that's just fiction. When you write historical fiction, you have to know as much about history as you do if you're writing something nonfiction, because you're telling the truth. You can't go in and put just whatever you want in it. So there's lots of different ways you can write this. This is a historical fiction. This is an oral history biography, and our mayor is actually in this one. This I did in 2006, and it's on President William Jefferson Clinton. When I worked in the White House, I would run into these people who said, "Is he really like this? Was he really like this in Arkansas? Did he just start really connected with Black people so that it could help him politically?" So one of the things I wanted to do was to interview Black people who've known him over the years, who've worked with him, who worked for him, and get their perspective of what they believe his legacy was. And there's almost 100 interviews in here from people all over the country who've known him, who worked with him, and they were able to give me their perspective. So this is one form of history gathering here. This is a book that I did when I worked for, actually it was a special project that I did for the Department of Workforce Services. They were celebrating their 73rd year of being around. They started out as Employment Security Division, if any of you remember that. They transformed into Workforce Services. So they wanted to get a history of the organization. So we went around all over the state of Arkansas and interviewed people about their memories of ESD before it became Department of Workforce Services. And we also interviewed all the directors, all the people who had run the ESD over the years. So that is another type of history. I really am excited about community history because a lot of different communities are now doing their own history. So if that's something that you all are interested in, I have another presentation that I could probably send to you if you're interested in actually doing history of a community, a town that you grew up in. Is that something you're interested in?
Okay. Right? Then I had the camera rowdy and all that. The ones that have come out of kind of I hear him, yeah. I would like to. Wonderful. Rather than on me, it was just a community, right? And right. How people see it, regardless of how we sold rags, all of it. So everybody would have money when we went to the near.
Wow. Wow. But you'll have to be in there and your family as well. Yeah. Okay. Right. Right. Wonderful. I love that. Somebody had their hand up. Trivia.
And speaking of community, I did edit a written by my sister, Ms. Roberts. Yes. Because Regina Norwood on yes, realtor. Yes. Uh-huh. That information shared down through the years. Or so when they put it in written form, and then I had an opportunity, and that was also paid
paid there by state library or and going back to
Right, right. Just to piggyback on what you said, the Arkansas Black History Commission, Tanja, they do, they have grants for history. If you decide you're going to write a historical book, they do have grants. So you all should think about that, especially for like communities or people who passed on that contributed a lot to the state and to the community. So you should think about that.
so if you're going to the right wall, there's a community or you power a certain person from community. Is that okay if it has already been written and someone else is already prepared to that?
It's all right. Nobody can make you not do it. But I would hopefully, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it, come at it in a different way, add something to what has already been said. Maybe add some more people in the conversation. So if you're going to do something that's already been done, I would definitely think of how I'm going to make it better or different. Yeah. So yes, lots of different ways to write history. Um, when our history is written and documented, that helps ensure that those who come after us know we were here and that we made contributions. So it's immensely important today, more than ever, that we start thinking about creating our own history. I've devoted pretty much my life to history. And also I've devoted my life to helping other people who want to do the same. So I was a publisher for a while and I helped people publish their books. I don't do that anymore, but I do help people if they come to me and say, I want to write my book. I want to do a history book or I want to write a memoir. I am very very much willing to help you with that because I feel it's just so important that we start putting our history books in the bookstores, in the archives, in Arkansas state commissions, all of that. What about how do you know that you're a historian? Because all of us are. If we want to be, what are the things that make us know we're a historian? And I think what I knew about myself was that I've always been extremely nosy, that I wanted to know everything about everybody. So that is one thing, asking the right questions, not being afraid to ask the right questions, and being just interested, very interested, listening with your heart and your brain. A lot of us will have conversations with people, and we might come away with half of what they actually said. But it's really important that we listen with everything when we're listening to people. If we're going to interview a person, it's just so important that we get as much as we can from that interview so that we'll have more material, more content to work with, and also just the respect for that person that you're interviewing. Developing a sincere interest in others and the world around me. So at our age, people would say, "Well, what else is it for you to do? I mean, you've done everything. You're at an age. Why are you interested in anything anymore?" But I think most of us probably wake up every day with something new on our minds, like, what can we do now? Who can we meet that we haven't met before? What can we learn that we didn't learn all those years before? We don't stop living. We don't stop thinking and feeling just because we're at a certain age. And writing is something you never stop doing. When people say, well, when are you going to stop? Never. When I close my eyes, that's when I stop. There's no reason for any of us to stop. We all still have a brain and a heart and sincere interest. So let's not let that die. So each of us are historians. The other thing that we need to have within us is a love for reading. Does everybody love to read? All right, great. And if you don't love to write, then make yourself do it. There's times when I do not want to write, but I know I need to write. I have to force myself to do it. So if you don't have that natural love for writing, I do have a natural love for writing, but I have writing blocks just like everybody else. There are times that come when I can't make myself write. I just have to sit down and just start writing, force it. So, but this is the one most important thing about history, research. Is there anyone that doesn't like research? Wow, good. Research is so very important. I'm the kind of person when I'm working on a book and I have to research, I know I have to research, I get so turned on by the research till I forget about my writing. I love the research because you learn so much more than you know you need. You start going off on a tangent about something else and then start thinking, oh, maybe this will be good for another book. But research is important, but also it's something that I hope that you all really love because that makes it so much easier for you. So writing any kind of nonfiction, research should be at the top of your list of things to do. Let me see. So I've picked up a few good research tips that I will share with you. Some of them I just kind of accidentally learned as I was doing it. Others I picked up from other people who told me some of their research tips. But I'm going to share those with you. And I also have handouts. I'll give you all the handouts after. I probably don't have enough, but I can make copies and. Okay, good. So here we go. Here are some tips. Outlines. Who like to do outlines before they start on a project? Good. Outlines are extremely important. It's kind of like your roadmap, so you'll know where you're going. It also saves a lot of time. You don't get in the middle of something and then have to figure things out. It just really helps you do whatever you're doing better. Before you begin your project, before you begin your story, before you begin your book, you know what your book will entail, and you also know what you want to share with others, like the experience. You know that's important to go in your book. So those are the things that you would put in your outline. Create your own personal research plan or schedule. I think this is extremely important. If you know you're going to write a book about whatever you're going to write about, you need to figure out, okay, what kind of research am I going to need to do? Where am I going to be able to find the resources that I need? So those are the things, that's kind of the research before the research. You figure that out. At this point, you know exactly what story you will be sharing. You make a list of what documents will be most helpful to you. Each of your book projects will require a unique set of resource materials that will best help you tell your story. Research is just invaluable. Whether you live in a large metropolitan community or in a suburb or in a rural area, there are places you can go to find valuable research resources. I've done research in very small towns. I've done research in libraries like Little Rock Library or other libraries. I've done research in museums. I've done research at the Library of Congress or the National Archives, places like that. Chicago Museum. All these places have amazing resources. So I've traveled to all of these places based on what I'm working on, what book I'm working on. So once you start, you will kind of figure out what it is that you really need. Another very important thing, if you're working at a library or a museum or a historical archive where you're really not familiar with it, get to know the librarian, get to know the archivist, get to know that person who works there. They can be invaluable to your work. They make your work so much easier. They will know what you need to look for sometimes when you don't know what to look for. So it's really important get to know who those people are at those different places that you're going to do your research. Oral histories. What is oral histories, you all? Hmm? Yes, yes. You're talking one-on-one. Yes, that's where interviews come in. Personal one-on-one interviews with persons of interest for your historical project. This gives credibility to your project. You get the information directly from someone. And you will use that in your bibliography. These are the people that I interviewed. That's important. If you're writing personal memoir or family history, then you want to schedule interviews with family members. Someone already mentioned that, but also neighbors or others who were part of your early life, like your teachers, your ministers, your childhood friends, your doctors, your nurses. All of those people can give you. Sometimes we don't remember some things about ourselves when we were young. So those interviews are really good. If you're working on a community history project, your interview schedule should include community leaders, civic leaders, political leaders, people who ran businesses, uh, organizational leaders, everyday workers, uh, possibly family members, but also school or work colleagues. All of the people who make up that community, the people that you feel like would contribute to your book. Of course, you can't interview everybody, but you should have a good list of people in that community who can contribute something to making that book better. Your school administrators, people like that. So I've got a list of questions that for personal interviews, oral histories, and also you'll get those. Interview questions to get subjects remembering and sharing their life stories. First, you want them to talk about their childhood. You want them to tell you where they were born, what city and state. All those questions you probably had to answer. Describe the place that you grew up with. And the interesting thing about some of these questions is you ask 5 people and you're going to get different answers from everybody, but that's good. That's good. Then you note that in your book, your story. Talk about your family, talk about your school. What about your life journey? When did you leave home? Where did you move to? What are the kinds of jobs you've held? What were your dreams as a child? Because you want that personal feeling as well. What one job or experience best defines your life? Was there always one thing you wanted to do and you didn't get a chance to do it? Talk about your immediate family. Who were your immediate family, your children? What are they doing? Who were your heroes? Why? And then maybe ask them if they have words of wisdom to pass on to young people. I always like to do that. So those are some of the questions. I didn't read all of them, but some of the questions. Do y'all have any questions that you would want to ask someone in an oral history interview?
Oh, it's hard one that.
Uh-huh.
You should you have question.
Uh-huh.
No.
Uh-oh.
So here, so I heard interviews about my talented people.
Mm-hmm.
Some stories about the white wood, all of this stuff. Are also here to be classmate. You want to make this little capital not state. 1 minute. Okay. And then came older sisters that we had out there. So I contacted those sisters of his who now passed on. And they shared stories with me about their experiences concerning racism. And they told me briefly that one of they were recalling walking upon the direction that they had walked this by, expectation. So they knew what time our student output would be offered. So they knew what time school. They let their dogs out. Oh, they let their dogs out. Whereas then, they kept this thing with trucks. Truck. They ride around those trucks, but on prayer. That was, yeah, yeah, it makes me still want this. So, so those were just now came along. But I did write the day about their names and the day and time that I had the discussion with you. I hear about yes, this and I know. Right. So I want to go for additional information to add to that. I still need to seek out more people that want to do.
Sure. Sure. You can do that as well as you can do research on what else was going on in the community during that time and at other schools. That kind of broadens your story because there was something going on during that time, a lot of different places. Yeah. Yes. 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 Mm-hmm.
Who I know that went to that school or other schools.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. That's great. Great. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to go her and then I'll be there.
I went to Capital,
Oh, okay.
but I'm much older than you.
I was born in 55.
41.
So I'm 70. Okay.
And it was the different atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
I lived on 10th Street, and one of my dear friends, she's gone home. We used to walk together,
Mm-hmm.
and with my brother, neighbors, and it was fun going to Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
Capitol, yeah. In fact, we were at about 5 blocks from the state capitol.
Right.
And
Right.
as we grew up, and I shared it, as we grew up, my friend and I used to go roller skating in the rotunda because the streets, they weren't concrete. If they were concrete, it was a bump.
Okay. Yes.
And hurt you there.
Yes.
And I never shall forget, we were in the 7th grade, and sometimes the Lord would shoo us out. We'd have we'd have fun skating around there.
Wow.
And then this one day, man said, we're going to send y'all to jail if you don't stop. And we said, you can't make us, our mama and daddy, pay your salary. When I took girl, we didn't know. Like I said, we were, I guess, a young 12.
Right. Right.
But yes.
See, she's perfect for your story too. Uh-huh. Because that's earlier, before the yes. Yeah. Right. Because I had, finishing high shop. Right. 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 Okay. Interesting. See?
Well, Cherokee. It's only because schools were mentioned. I try to say these quickly. My family, all 8 of us were students. Steve was out of Charlotte, and Steve was elementary school.
Wow.
My oldest sister, who was 14 years older than I am, started to Stephen in 1940.
Oh, wow.
And we lived in that time at 803 South Hayes. Makes for now University.
Oh.
Students walked from that and all the way to the location where there's Ian's. So it's kind of weird for the longest time. And Hayes Street was that, so kind of was and it probably, since everyone wants to southwest, east, everyone to the west, west to our Louisiana. So that history goes back. Wow. It is often told and how we do this. But I say it's sort of, but what we do is, as many report by episodes, by things that happen, we can inform right now. And I know that I put out so a lot of things, publications that deal with dates, right, in entire history. One thing that is for in 1893, in McCurry, Arkansas, Garble, it's like our great grandfather paid poll tax.
Yes. Yes.
We don't say you can imagine at the time of it how long they work for $1. So therefore, all of the family went down to my grandchildren.
Uh-huh.
In a copy of that.
Wow.
So it's by episodes, but it would be good.
Yes.
It's like how good of a feature comes
Yes. Ab- Absolutely. Yes. Oh my goodness. So how do you went with your dad to sell poll tax?
With their $1. And you think about $1 back then,
Yes.
very significant.
Wow.
And I know my dad was the kind he just said coffee and always wanted to know. And it's amazing the things you remember. I remember my mom fussing at him sometimes because he'd say, this is also one of the poll tax. She didn't have a house, so I bought her this.
Oh wow.
Yes, I did. So rather than tell folks, when you just how people went around to do everything.
Uh-huh.
And went around knocking on doors, and he believed in people.
Right. Right.
And it's amazing how stories get embellished and packed.
Uh-huh.
But the telling of the post was not a racial thing. Everybody, black or white, is just be able to be eligible to vote here. And
Uh-huh.
you had to buy a vote.
Uh-huh. All right. Okay. Okay.
Out in the field and had
Okay.
I'm not saying it was I'm gonna say yeah,
It wasn't racial.
and if everybody be eligible for the vote, would be
Okay. Okay.
Arkansas was one of the located out states to get rid of the poll tax. Down in the
Yep. Yes. Yep.
tax.
Well, see, we now we know how the mayor got started in her on her political journey, and we know she has many, many, many stories that she can share with us. I saw one. Yes.
My name is Al Fogelak, and I'm originally from Belgrade.
Okay. Okay.
And I had not thought about writing until I started. Just recent, I started reading the True Travels of the Green Book,
Yes.
like the Green Book story.
Yes.
And the little,
Uh-huh.
remember all the places in Alvarado that was mentioned there. But my great grandfather was born in Alabama in the 1840s, and then when slaves were free, he migrated to Louisiana, then there to Arkansas. And at that time, in 1866, I believe, Charlie Murphy ancestors, Charlie Murphy,
The Murphy oil. Okay.
gave some land to build a church for the black people.
Wow.
And recently, we discovered there is a cemetery behind that church, which is an old slave cemetery that all grown up. And I want to write to the story from the off.
Oh wow. That's some rich history.
Start. How do we get help to clear off that old cemetery? Where do we go?
There's a group, isn't there? Yeah, that yeah. Yes. All over the state.
Okay.
Tamala Tenpenny. Yes. Yes. I have her information. I'm sure she wouldn't mind me giving it to you. So I will.
We my family were in Houston, and my mom was the youngest, and it was like 35 years between the oldest.
Wow.
One of the his boys, my grandfather's brother, disappeared, and you were talking about researching, and fast forward on to Vietnam War. This young man was born of a Vietnamese woman and a black man, so the DNA tracked us, and
Wow.
he was airlifted, base lifted to Australia, and some Australian family uh, adopted him, but he was doing a lot of research and found the Hicks brother that disappeared.
Uh-huh.
And it was in the Florida Louisiana Gazette, November 16, 1899. And this is what it said. Mr. Jeff Murphy informed that a Negro named Pig Norris was killed near Oakland in Louisiana by another colored brother named Bush Hicks.
Wow.
Brother that disappeared.
Oh my goodness.
Turkeys had a row at a
Dude.
party Saturday night over Dusty Dan.
Oh my God.
He picked up a bomb and struck Norris over the head and flicked a wound on which the injury died the next day. The murderer left parts unknown.
Oh wow.
In 2010 or 2010, we were having a family reunion. And the people from El Dorado named Stanley came to our reunion and told us that the Bush Hicks was their great grandparents.
Oh my God.
We all went to school together. They just that they was equal. We had no idea that they were Stanley. And when you join the DNA, you gotta come out and stuff.
Yes. Be ready for it.
I just decided that I wanted to write about.
That's gonna be wonderful. That's gonna be great.
But that research is very
Yes.
something.
Yes. Absolutely. Mayor, you wanted to say something else? I know the feeling.
He was here on the mentioning a lot of cemetery. On the 27th of this month, there's an organization, they'll be out at people rep basically all day with 5 and 9 o'clock. And they're going to be talking about basically how to preserve, how to keep race well clean and all that. But you can also get information from the people who will be doing that about, how to do urban dictionary development. If this, I'm not December, but 27th, that is our way. And I think the next, there's another thing that'll be here, but they will be.
Okay, I'll get that information.
Oh,
Great. I know, yeah. Just wanted to say quickly, this is going to be a wonderful event. And when we're thinking in terms of telling the story, well, we are called.
Yes.
We have not documented, but we have not shared our story. We are not passed that information on to today's people.
It is. It is.
We talk to even ask them to make sure that our stories are
Yes. Yes.
one share one of those people most. Okay? We're working the census.
Yes.
And the census of 1857, it was documented that John Charlie Martin, Paul's Martin, was a school teacher in 1852 in Boston.
Wow.
And as a teacher, I see, it was not right, but what the hell? Great race trap on. So was a Negro school teacher. The inspectors see them now,
Right.
Negroes to be like, it's a question was, so I questioned one of my cousins wrote a book, and the question was, were they slave, were they their footage? But 1857, before,
Yeah. Right.
like back,
Wow. Rich history. Y'all have such rich history. Anybody else before we move on? So I'm going to give you this set of questions that I have, and you guys should add to them. Let me see some notes that I made that I think you should think about when you're interviewing people. Ask open-ended questions. Why do you ask open-ended questions?
Certain in more detail. Is that detail goes on the top, provokes another question.
Absolutely. You want all the information you can get. And if you're asking questions that you can say yes, no, I don't know. Yeah, you've got to ask questions that make people want to talk and will talk. Do not rush your interviews because a lot of people, it takes them a time to think about things and kind of decide what they really want to tell you. Just give people time to come up with their answers. Always ask before you tape record someone. Um, for us, tape recording is the best route because you get all the information and you can go back and listen to it and get it right. But some people still don't feel comfortable being tape recorded. So it's important for you to ask people whether it's okay to tape record. If they say no, that means you've got to be a much better note taker. You've got to take those notes as, clearly, as fast as possible. And don't ever throw anything away from that interview because you don't know when you're going to need it. So hold on to everything. Ask that person, that interviewee, if there's anyone else that they would suggest that you talk to that they think would have a lot of good information that they can share with you. Confirm whether it's acceptable that you reach back out to them. If they kind of know in the back of their heads that you're going to call them back, when you do, then they'll be ready for your call. Otherwise, you may not be able to get them. And just make sure that they're comfortable in the setup, the environment, because the more comfortable people are, the more information you're going to get. So it's all of those things are just important. I'm going to ask Garbo before my very last thing is actually I'm going to do a little exercise. Or would you like to talk about the package that you have at this point? Okay.
Come with me.
Wash it for
So we have
the circle.
Mhm.
I know this is the eye award. These are the people.
For anybody,
But one of the things that we probably all experience, I know, are like, why did I ask to be this? Or why did I? So I was going to ask, do you have any suggestions as to how we can get younger people to thinking about their life stories at a much earlier age? And, I guess when I think about now, so many people, just in my family, right? I wish I had asked
yes,
questions. There's no one,
right, right.
so you gotta get this, how would it interest younger folks?
Was it as a writer? I can just say that I like working with young people, and I like to do writing exercises with them. And a really important exercise is for them to write about themselves. And after they write about themselves, let's talk about that because I'll learn even more and you'll learn even more from that. So I do a lot of exercises where I make them talk about themselves and write about themselves. Journaling is another way because journaling touches on a lot of things. You can ask them all kinds of questions about themselves and they begin to kind of look inside themselves because things that they never thought about before. Oh, okay, this is important. And other young people think about this. So I just think interacting with young people early and maybe in some structure that kind of makes them think about it and write about it and ask questions. Yes.
when we're doing a historical
Fiction, like your Caruthers-Scott
Mhm.
that was based on you and your family. But if you're doing one that has people in it,
Mhm.
well, not really other people, but based on it,
Right.
you have to get their permission to do this. You should get
If they're living, yes.
but they're living, we have a friend who's trying to get on their gun for murders in LA. Where she got out of, and we didn't know what she done. So,
I would definitely reach out to the family and let them know that you're interested in doing this. Hopefully, they'll be fine with it. People have written books about people without their permission, but it's always better, especially if you live in a community with someone or you know these people well, to get their okay.
because for the murders that occurred, their families are still with,
Right, right. Well, I would definitely,
have not been found.
yes,
Right.
yes, I would do that. And this book right here was based on that, and I did go to the family. It's based on a murder that took place in Dumas, Arkansas, back in '85, and I went to them and let them know that I wanted to write this book.
But I think I read three books, The Time Field of Fame, The Conversations, and Day of the
Okay.
and then I started doing that church. Most of the then you get back
Of course.
and you never go with it.
And there's so many books out there. Okay, we're going to allow you guys to go ahead.
Okay, well, let's see Jennifer back.
I can move down here. Okay.
She won't be playing all right. The law has to some bad. But Megan has a very good talk for today. Like, so I was
Yes. Beautiful, Jamaica.
Set out on the Vietnamese, leather journal, and cotton, like I said. Paper is also handmade out of cotton. It's 3-day process. And inside, there are prompts that'll take you from the cradle, right? You know, so it'll come up with like how you got your day, how your parents came up with your day, how your parents met, when and where you were born. It takes you along your life story, child, all the way up to your final wish. There's a bonus section in the back. And then in the bonus section, so you have about 200 pages in here, and you can kind of chronicle your life story. And if you're kind of stuck as far as where to start, when you're on your journey, this kind of guides you all the way. And it takes you, you know, where you were born, when and where you were born, who your siblings are. It has places for you to attach photographs, like, and then it also has, you know, what were your favorite bedtime stories and lullabies, your favorite games and hiding places, you know. Takes you even up to your first crush, you know, what college you went to, who were some of your great friends, all kinds of really good questions that it'll ask you. Any fears that you overcame and how you did that, your family, you know, their hopes and dreams, and where you wound up, you know, as far as that sort of thing. But literally, it takes you from the cradle to the grave. What was your first job? Any instances of you know, exceptional courage or resilience or, you know, how you overcame certain things. Just down to you to leave behind for your shield, and you literally just chronicle your life, you know, prompt by prompt. And let's see, I'm trying to think of some other things that are in here. How you met your significant other, your first date, you know, your wedding. How did you propose, or how did you? Kind of really for this stuff, your proudest professional, your achievement, you know, just be able to chronicle your life, your bucket list. And in the back, you know, there's a bonus section that carries your final wishes. You know, your family doesn't have to want, you know, how did you want things handled? It just kind of takes you through your legacy, how you would like to be remembered on that day, where your family can find important documents, do you have insurance? You know, so they're not just wandering and searching. And all of it came about, you know, 'cause I've lost both of my parents, and that left a lot of questions. Where's this? Where's that? Did they have this? Did they have that? Things that we didn't know about. So there's an area for you to leave that information for your family. And just so you can not document things. And is there a living will? If so, where? Who do we contact? Just, you know, it allows you to be prepared because we want So, and then in addition, there's also a canvas bag that comes with that as well. And then there's a larger kit, which comes with this magnetic box. A gift box. It's converted to a gift box. You have a canvas bag, your glove, and then you also have this can. And that can is, with the feather end. You get the desktop holder for the pen. You get an inkwell. You get two pens. They come in green, blue, white. Those. That's what it's white one. And so it just gives you a little fancy way, on the cotton paper. Cotton holds ink better. And so you'll be able to understand it right. But it'll also take a regular ink membership pen. So you can use a regular ink pen. You ain't need the white. And it just helps you to chronicle your life story, and it makes it presentable, and it gives you a family heirloom. It's gorgeous. You have available today. Great. Well, yeah. My granddaughter is off. She's 13. On her 22nd. When we started off, I thought, that means she is a good writer. She won for the state of Georgia. Oh, wow. She wrote the best journal I got all kind of freedom. Is there a limitation to the age? No, and only she got something I think that anyway got alone. We just keep it. Yeah. It's winning. Like when she gets to the marriage, being to be dressed on her skin, you're calling out for her. And I was like, wrong word. Thank you, ma'am. So today. She said today. It's a fun meeting. There are several ways to purchase a family journal. The gift box, the rest comes with the pen, the journal, and a bag of stickers. Yeah. And of course, if you want, and then also certificate. If you don't want the beautiful pen, that's going to go because it's like, and you want with a bag as well, or just a bag. So definitely see the Tanika after the presentation will be certificate. Well, definitely. Very no. I'm the fastest around the walk. Everybody gets excited because we do have door prize. Oh. What's in a door prize? No. Report. That is not look at all. And then and you know what you do? It's from our partners. Also, no. Because these jobs, if you come in time, if you this year, will. And thank you all for your so many blessings. Yes. And that you chose to come spend your Wednesday afternoon. I hope that you have learned something or gained something. And then we'll you get a sign when we do a couple. And because a couple of days after we was out, well, we were two places. I said, this is the perfect place for you to show your turtle. Well, that's the turn. Hi, folks. Thank you so much for coming out. Every single Wednesday that we've done this has been excellent. I couldn't ask for anything better. And Garbo has picked excellent. I can't say entertainment. Yes. So hard. I cannot learn something each and every time, and I hope everyone else did also. Strange thing happened. I was thinking about I do need to write a 3 books that I haven't published yet. I put it over to the side and saw a book I had published about 10 years ago. Well, God, I did that stuff. And that says, and it's down right our lab or family. Yes. All right. Yes. I'd like to show it. And this was, I used to work where people really watch HIV and and everybody paid attention to the men and no one paid attention to the women. So there was 4 women and we were, I did get a graph to do this. We would go to the Excelsior at that time and we would order a food and they tell me their story. And this is a shortened version of their story. We're going to watch it. Okay.
You our kids to have area.
Yes.
Yeah.
And offer. Anyway, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Oak Street Health. But I'm telling you in conjunction with me. I am a social justice champion. If it's not making the world a better place, I don't want to do it. I think it work for you. And I heard about Oak Street for the people that had Medicare. I got one more year before I can get Medicare. And the thing about it was that they spent a lot, and which I can't remember things like I used to remember. So, I came to that because my stomach was feeling some type of way. I got to tell them about this thing on my and when I called Chapman's and things of that nature. So that was a big deal. My first school master really saved the world type of thing. This is what was the save the world. If they're treating you when your stomach feels some type of way, and let's say time to time goes by and you end up in the hospital or your stomach feels some type of way, they have to pay any other excess bill that you have. But so that was coming. Okay, now you're kind of talking about there's a whole lot of information that comes along with finally getting Medicare. And a lot of folks don't really know it. They don't know it. They don't necessarily have to get number one. It costs to have all the parts of it. So I am not skilled in that, but I am skilled in what I want everyone to know is creating events like this. If you have a church or any type of group that wants to do events, please give me a call. Our number is available at the desk up front. Right now, for this couple of weeks, we're talking Medicare. It's Deborah Kavanaugh, one of my colleagues. Well, this one is the one for me. I was now in similar to the I'm very emotional with my heart. So when I heard about Oak Street Health and what they were doing and what they were trying to do, I just wanted to be a part of it. I didn't know what I could do. I did not come from the medical field. So I didn't know what I could do, but here I am. That we spend more time with you. You're never treated like a number. When you need in, we can get you in same day next to that appointment. 24/7 phone sports, transportation available. What's that? I bet everybody in this room drives. But what if you don't feel good enough to drive? You don't feel good. Well, we will come meet you in an actual Oak Street Health van with a regular driver. We used to live once in a while if transportation's overbooked, but I don't know about y'all. I don't care for having strangers for picking me up. But you, she was have a lot of days here. We have on-staff social worker that can help with all kinds of things. Whatever we don't do, she can connect you with things in the community that you need and help you with things. On staff, mental health care. We have a community room where we meet. Not quite as nice. Someday we're going to, we'll probably got called. I'm not going to do that. And it's all so much that I love the patient, why the patient, I want to understand the patient, so I know a little bit from the patient side as well as working here. And I can say that we absolutely love it. They will never go to another doctor with which that and the passion that I've seen with my own eyes has I'm emotional person and tears in my eyes at times. But even when we have meetings and stuff, just know that we all genuinely care. And when our patients bring good things out of it, we celebrate with them. When bad things happen, we're sad with them. It's just some really amazing care. And if somebody wants to get more information, I do have information at the park. And I have a lot of good stuff about it. Good.
Now,
Carmen. My name is Camille Watkins. What? That's Carmen Clark. I won't answer. You mentioned it. I was here. Seriously, Mark. I want to stand here with folks street. If they want to tell me, no, wouldn't no takes. No in this. No, by the way, over weight. Because that's something that we always do. That for what danger was. When you're trying Medicare, once you already become Medicare, the time they move like to spend this Saturday afternoon, what I'm like, nobody good. That's why you call me. That's why you call OSHA. We're here to make it simple and easy as possible. So that you understand, you have confidence, and you go to get your. And again, you know, church house, you're not even house. You know what? You what? Yep. Yeah, I changed your name to Joy earlier. That's all right. You got it. Deborah will be in her table. Camille will be in the frame shop. If you'd like to talk to her about what happens when you try to get board, how Medicare, all this stuff works. Thank you for it. Nature, they come up to bring the door cards. Boy, that's it. Okay. While she's doing that, I would like to say congratulations to Miss Garbo and her sweet husband back there. They will be inducted into the Arkansas Black Hall of Fame this year. Yes. Very much deserved. Very much deserved. All right. So now have for pride door prizes. When you come here for Wisdom Wednesday, you hopefully you will something. But whether it's difficult to or I said I have a card. We have what we call our Bill Fab 30th Street Book Club. And what we want to do, and we're going to start with January, is once a month, on the 10th of every month, your child will receive a book. Wow. Okay. And on their birthday, they will receive a book. And it's signed on a book plate by you. Wow. And the point of this is to hear a real library. And if we don't, right. Nobody. Well, I know stories can be expensive, clothes can be expensive, but books are things that will last forever. And so we pay them monthly, yearly, quarterly, however you want. We'll be getting information to you. You have your email, that's how you can be part of it. So we'll start with a couple of $10 gift cards that are not for you. Or a gift card. So we'll pick out honey, little kitty wrangler. Deciding. Okay. That's not it.
We lied, but it's not decided.
The opposite right. That is sir. Under 10. All right. Everybody's signing. Okay. All right. And you pick out.
You will
pick out.
happy. Yeah.
All right. The number. All right. Let's see. Number 1. Wow. No. He is not ready. He left early. Well, therefore, he had done. Number 2.
Lucky side of the world. Whoa. We're down.
It is number 3. Okay, all right. Let's go from right there on. Number 4?
Cheers.
We need a bigger box. Okay, all right. Number 8.
Yay.
All right. Is Magnolia Jackson.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna be starting the club. Right? So our final and last gift, we're gonna ask Miss Tamika to come up here and pick because some lucky person is gonna leave here with a drum.
Wow.
What number you got? Number 15 will be Sandra Dreyer Brown. And she is not here. Number 11 is going to be Miss Loretta Alexander. Okay, for those of you who didn't win a prize, you will get a prize this month. The schedule for the next Wednesday, so I'm gonna hand this to pass them around. And
Oh, yeah.
these are the handouts from Ms. Janis Kearney, and we have your email. We are going to email them to you because we don't have
enough.
and it'll take me forever to make enough copies. But we will email them to you.
Yes.
So I have your email address on the side, and you will get it today. Okay? All right. So our next Wisdom Wednesday is what day? October 1st. And guess who will be here? Tina Black. She will be here showing us moves. She is a personal trainer, and she has results by Tina. She's won many awards. She's probably been training 30 some odd years, but she looks like she's 30. Therefore, please come because she's going to share a lot of things that will help you move after in your senior year. How about that? And the first time we did share yoga, and that was a very moving experience. And today, thank you for being part of our Wisdom Wednesday. So please.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
And we'll see you October 1, right? You have the schedule and share it with someone.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. Anybody have questions?